Yo, what's good, YouTube? We back at it with a another video. I wasn't really planning to make this video at first, but after seeing a lot of discourse and stuff online, I figured I should um, because we I don't know. It just seems like nowadays in society we get very comfortable with discrediting and like disrespecting people that have come before us in professions, and diminishing what they've done before our time just because we didn't live it, experience it, or wasn't maybe, or also just not aware. And in this case, I'm speaking to Jay-Z. He just performed at the Roots Picnic this past weekend in Philadelphia, and there was a portion of his set. I think he was up there for about an hour and a half or so. He brought some people out. Brought out, um, and we bring State Property, Freeway, Beanie Siegel. He brought out Meek Mill. I know that, and then he had the Roots performing, um, as well, since it's their show. But in that set, he had a freestyle early to kind of like set off his whole set, and it caused a stir online, mainly because he dissed a number of individuals. He dissed Dame Dash, Nicki Minaj, Drake, Tony Busby, Tory Lane's dad, Kanye West, um, Oshino, Jaguar Wright. I mean, it was just a number of people that got shots fired at them. So I kind of wanted to make a video and break this stuff down, because there's people out there who are getting it, and then there's people out there that are legit just saying the freestyle was ass, and that just kind of bugs me in a way. So we don't get to it. I've listened to this freestyle a couple times over the weekend, and then over the last like day or so, I was trying to go back and just make sure I can catch as much as I can, so I can really break this down line for line. It's not a long freestyle, but I'm gonna pause, go back and try to break everything down. Um, this freestyle had a lot packed into it. It's like to a point where I even like took notes to remind myself like I don't miss anything. So I'm gonna use that to help me. But also, um, obviously Jay-Z isn't really an active rapper anymore like he was in his heyday. Now it's more just guest verses here and there, and that's really only for a small group of people. Like the last, I know he was supposed to be on the Clips album last summer on Let God Sort Him Out, and in a recent interview he said like he just didn't have, well, he said something along the lines, I think, don't quote me, but like he wanted to get on it, but like nothing was really like coming to him, I guess. And I think the other time before that, I think the last time he was on a song, I think he did something for that Black Messiah movie with Pharrell, Nipsey Hussle. I think before that was just God Did with DJ Khaled a couple of years ago. So he addressed a lot of things in this freestyle that's been going on the last couple of years because people take shots at him a lot. So we're gonna get right into it. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. So let's see.
Hattie's turning 100. If she would have transitioned before I cleared my name, I would have hunted them.
So Hattie is Jay-Z's grandmother, and he said if she had transitioned before he cleared his name, So obviously he got hit with a lawsuit last year from Tony Busby, um, accusing him of allegedly of doing some things with an underage woman years and years and years ago. Um, Tony Busby, to my knowledge, this might have been my first or second time hearing about him, but these are things that he does just to try to like get money for himself and also whoever he's defending, um, and whatnot. So that's pretty much what he was, saying in that first part right there. Um, Referring to, if my grandmother had passed before I was able to clear my name, you got to think about it like that would have been the last thing she heard about her her godson. And but at the same time, it's like even though she's probably obviously she's known him his whole life, but when things like that come out, you just don't really know. So for her to transition and that to be like one of the last thing that was going on with him would have been something that he probably wouldn't have been able to live with.
Transition, if I clear my name, I would have hunted them. Every one of them playing these silly games. That 1-800 ambulance chaser would have wished one came. But 911 is a joke. Public enemy #1, I've been ranked. The rock's not crumbling.
The public enemy #1. It kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like he's not really an active rapper right now, but people still like cast blame on him a lot for a lot of things. So he's pretty much saying like, I guess I'm public enemy #1. Anytime something crazy comes up, they blame Jay-Z, they blame Rock Nation. You get the memes of they got a call from Rock Nation, they got a call from Jay-Z, they got this, they got that, like whatever it may be. So that's pretty much what he's saying right there as well too.
The leprechauns have magically run out of pranks. Your son on a federal jail line mumbling something about having too much of this drink.
So the leprechaun, he's talking about Tory Lanez here. Obviously him being short and his whole case with Meg Thee Stallion. I guess Jay-Z had something to do within that case to help her, I guess. But I kind of got away from the case because there was just a lot going on. But there was a phone call recording, I think, of Tory Lanez admitting to the other girl, Meg's ex-best friend, that he had too much to drink, he was drunk, and he doesn't even remember like what happened. So Jay-Z is using that like that was some stupid shit for you to do, and that's why you're locked up right now, basically. But you're painting others to be the victim as to why you're in jail.
You know how dumb that is? Another one fumbled his, wonder how I get the blame. Niggas' teeth is tumbling out their mouth, and somehow I'm the one who done it. It's a murder mystery game.
So then, like he even says, somehow I'm the one that done it. Teeth is tumbling. That's shooting at Dame Dash, who Jay-Z came up with once he got on the scene. I think a little bit before that too. But there was Dame Dash is taking shots at Jay-Z for almost eternity now. It feels like whenever he just like looks to seek some attention, and for him, there was a video that he had posted. I don't know how long ago it was, but he was talking about something and his teeth. He has fake teeth. He had dentures, and they fell out of his mouth while he was talking. So teeth is tumbling. It's him taking a shot at him.
You had to catch Kyle and dunk it. Was you who pumped his? I'm the one who strummed the pain.
All right. And then in that last one too, the rock's not crumbling. After the Meg and Tory verdict of him, being guilty, there was that viral video of his dad outside the courtroom with the news, and he was saying something about like the rock nation's going to crumble, whatever it may be. He's saying the rock's not crumbling. Right here, let me just go back a tad bit. I don't even. Hopefully, I don't go back too
One in
far.
one way, it's the other. I still on you suckers, I'm all of you niggas. The cash cow and dunk it. Was you who pumped this? I'm the one who strummed the pain.
When he's talking about strum the pain, so this he got a lot of. This is going to be a double entendre. So I want to let it play a little bit, so I want to play it, and you get caught up in the middle of the actual.
Too much flack that comes from those planes. 100 ambulance chaser with a wish one came, but now I'm on y'all thumbs again. Cancel the brunches. I remember the hunger pain, mumbling something about having too much of this drink. You know how dumb that is? Another one fumbled his, wonder how I get the blame. Niggas' teeth is tumbling out their mouth, and somehow I'm the one who done it. It's a murder mystery game. You had to cash cow and dunk it. Was you who pumped this? I'm the one who strummed the pain. That hill you can die on.
I'm the one who strummed the pain, the hill you can die on. So stay right there.
There's way too much flack that comes from those planes.
Too much flack that comes from those planes. I'm the one that strummed the pain. It's a hill you can die on. So that is a Roberta Flack is referencing Roberta Flack. So she has a song, "Killing Me Softly," and it starts off with "Strumming My Pain." And then the Fugees, Lauryn Hill, they have a song that samples that, "Killing Me Softly." So Die on That Hill, Lauryn Hill, "Killing Me Softly," Die on That Hill, basically. And then the Flack in the Plains is another word or meaning for flack. I guess you could, another meaning for flack is it's like an anti-aircraft artillery, basically. So when he says planes, Rock Nation has the Paper Planes clothing brand where the plane is the actual logo. So he's pretty much saying like he's fighting off, anything that any shots that they throwing at him.
I'm killing them softly. What's understood don't need to be explained.
What's understood doesn't need to be explained. Is referencing the Lauryn Hill miseducation of Lauryn Hill. So miseducation is accentuating that people aren't understanding, but what's understood doesn't need to be explained. And she did a lot of explaining on that album.
You want it one way, it's the other. I still on you suckers, I'm all of you niggas gang. I ain't much for me.
I steal on you suckers. I Marlo you niggas gang is the it's a Wire reference where Marlo, he was in the store and he stole the suckers out of the jar while looking at the security guard. So he's basically saying like, I don't really respect y'all. Like I was stealing.
No how. Cancel the brunches. I remember the hunger pain. The price of the bricks going up. Let's go.
Price of the brick going up. That's another Wire reference with Marlo Stansfield. And then before that, I remember the hunger of pain. I cancel the brunches. So there's the means of you take 500,000 or do the lunch with Jay-Z. Everyone always says I'm taking the 500,000. I'm not going to go sit with Jay-Z, whatever. So he's saying cancel the brunches. He's kind of jabbing at the whole meaning, about that. And then on top of that, the hunger of pain. I guess you could say it's more, he knows the pain of hunger, what it's like to be hungry for something. And like also as well as like the pain that comes with that.
Of course you'll beat and even say my name. Y'all don't want me to think name. Cancel the brunches. I remember the hunger pain. The price of the bricks going up. It's going to cost you a beat and even say my name.
So the price of the brick is going up. It's going to cost you a B to even say my name. Is I'm tying me how I took it is I'm tying that back to Busby because when Busby was suing him, he ended up losing that, and then I think I want to say there's a don't quote me on it, but I think there was a counter lawsuit after the fact for defamation. So obviously that's going to cost Busby and his firm or whoever on his team more money. Um, it could be a B as in a billion. So you said my name, you threw dirt at my name. Now you got to pay me for it, but also cost you a B as in Beyonce, his wife, and she has the song "Say My Name." But I also think it's going to cost you a B to say my name. It's like when you think of Jay-Z, you think of Beyonce too, because they're like moving as one unit. So B to say my name. And also Jay-Z is a billionaire. So a B. um, yeah, so I think that's all I have for that
You ever heard of a Wonder King? My children and some of them. Have you niggas no shame?
So a Wonderkin, I had to look this up, but there's multiple um, meanings for it. I'm not sure which one he used, but I don't think it's a reach. So the first one I'm going to show you is a Wonderkin. It's like a workshop, educational platform / shop that's nature that focuses on screen-free nature-inspired play. So Wonderkin, nature. This is the Roots picnic, nature, trees. But a Wonderkin is also like a, I guess the best way I could describe it is like a child prodigy. Um, and it's like somebody who was highly successful at a very young age. So he was talking about. I'll rewind it back. I don't want to mess up his words.
You ever heard of a Wonder King? My children and some of them. Have you niggas?
Yeah, a Wonderkin. My children is some of them. So he's talking about them. How famous and successful they are at the age that they're at. It goes back into that second, definition that I gave you. And then
you're trying to get under skin. I really get under skin as an unharmed player.
Okay, so he's dissing Kanye at in this part because Kanye went on a rant, one of his rants about a year or two ago, I want to say. I think it was 2 years ago, where he said some foul things about Jay-Z and Beyonce's kids. So he's saying like,
you ever heard of a Wonder King? My children and some of them. Have you niggas no shame? You're trying to get under skin. I really get under.
You trying to get under my skin by bringing my kids in.
As an unharmed player.
And he said, "Ask how I'm playing." In my last video on the Rockefeller Dynasty album, he had the song with R. Kelly, "Guilty Until Proven Innocent." Right. So in 1999, he had the case against Lance Rivera, also known as Un, who's a music executive, and he was accused of stabbing him in a nightclub. But to also stab somebody, you got to get under their skin. And I guess he pleaded guilty, but I guess I don't really remember him really going to jail. And Lance Rivera is also a hip hop executive, and he was at a nightclub that Jay-Z was at, and there was a confrontation because there was rumors that Un leaked Jay-Z's album at the time before it was released, and he was upset about it. However, there was a recent interview back in like 2023 or so where Un claims that Jay-Z wasn't the one that did it because there was a bunch of people around that had a knife. And he says it wasn't Jay-Z. So that's kind of up in the air, I guess. This is before if you're my age or this newer generation, this is before our time. So I'm sure some older people can attest, a little bit better to it than I can. But he's referencing that, towards Kanye. He gets long history with.
Everybody think they're the ones insane. You're no maniac. Watch how Saniac in my presence, nigga, shrink.
Y'all thought with y'all thumbs again is just, people just talking on the internet, like Twitter fingers, basically. And then he talks about, you think you're insane. Watch how sane he act around me. Watch him shrink. Is a lot of people claim Kanye West is crazy. He be off his rocker. He loses his mind sometime, whatever. But people have attested to when he gets around Jay-Z, he acts normal. So Jay-Z is calling his bluff, saying like, yeah, you thought with your thumbs again, you'll say all this, behind the phone screen, whenever, but when you're around me, it's like you're on your best behavior.
Need a new therapist. This shit is not working. I'm truly on the brink. Y'all better not encourage him. Y'all don't want me to think these thoughts that I think.
He referenced this in the last sit-down interview he did. I keep forgetting the guy's name, and it's bugging me because I really do want to give him credit. But he was saying like he was in therapy, and a lot of around the time when he was trying to get on that Clips album, the stuff that he was creating and writing was very dark. I remember him saying in the interview, basically. So he's kind of like, I'm already on the brink. So he's like kind of battling, like going back and forth between both of those.
Nut ass nigga still stuttering. And Chatty Patty down on his luck again.
The dude he's talking about that was stuttering is Oshino. He's a former, Rockefeller rapper, I guess, but he talks with a stutter. So he's saying like he's still stuttering after all these years, basically, like tripping over his words. That kind of goes back to the teeth are tumbling. Like he's tumbling over his words, even though earlier it was about Dane. This one's about Oshino, but they both were all in Rockefeller, with Jay-Z.
Quest introducing me to Jaguar. I don't know why I still fuck with him.
Jaguar is Jaguar Wright. She's come out over the last couple years in interviews and stuff, just slandering the hell out of Jay-Z. I think she was one of the very first people. Well, allegedly, I don't want to say she's the first one, but for me, I remember she was the first one that I got the information from or the idea from that Jay-Z was doing some of the same things that like P. Diddy was doing. That came from her. And Jaguar Wright is she's somebody that later on, like late in the 90s, collaborated and worked with the Roots. Jay-Z has a old live unplugged album with the Roots. She was a backup singer. She did some of the vocals on some of his songs and stuff like that for that and whatnot. And they worked together in the past. But she's accused Jay-Z of doing a lot of things lately and whatnot. So this one, he's saying like Questlove, who's part of the Roots, this is his picnic, his whole thing. He's the one that induced me to Jaguar Wright. I don't know why I still fuck with him. I don't even know why I'm here doing this favor for him, basically. That's like not a diss, really. It's like a slight funny jab, amongst friends, basically. The rest, everybody else are all disses, so.
You wonder why I do the freestyle rehearsals. That lady back on the stuff, she sound like she in love with him. Her kid can't even take their kids. Enough of them. A rapper can't be my eye.
Oh my goodness. I like when rappers do this because like when you're in a battle with somebody or if you're dissing somebody, there is numerous ways to address them. And sometimes how do I put it? Sometimes saying a little says a lot. Like there's ways to dismiss somebody just to like let them know you're not on my level, but also like do it in a way that really like just like puts them in their place. Some examples I can think of is in the Drake and Kendrick battle where Drake said like Metro, shut your ass up and go make some drums, nigga. Like he's a producer. He's not a rapper. He wasn't going to be able to do anything in that against Drake. Another one I think of is when Joey Badass was going against the West Coast, and he said something like, "I did something against Rayvon or Daylight last week. Now I'm hearing about some dude named Ass Cheek, but he was talking about AZ Chike, but he pronounced it Ass Cheek. So it's like a funny reference. We're going to get him out the way, and I don't have to say anything else after that, right? This one right here, he's talking about Nicki Minaj because she goes on her rants too, similar to Kanye, just saying all types of crazy stuff. She be typing in all caps, doing whatever. So I just want to rewind this back a little bit just to...
That lady back on the stuff, she sound like she in love with him.
The lady's back on her stuff. Some people have accused Nicki being on cocaine, crack, whatever it may be. I think Lotto said it. I think Meg might have said it as well too. She said, like, I think she's still in love with him. He's talking about her husband, basically.
Her kin can't even.
Her kin can't even. So we got a double entendre here. By kin, it's like kinfolk, like family, right? But she calls herself a Barbie. So he's also saying Ken Carson, which is, you know, Barbie's spouse. So Nicki and her husband, her kin, take their kids. So I'm gonna break it down like this. Nicki's husband, who is Ken, he's the kin to her Barbie, can't pick up his kid because he's a registered sex offender. And she has a lot of history with him and she's married him. He's a level 2 sex offender and he was in prison for like 7 years. So he can't pick up his kid, but kin, as in skin folk, family, her brother recently just got sentenced to 25 years to life for sexually assaulting an 11-year-old. So kids, kin, as in her husband with their actual kids, kin, her brother with her niece, nephews, whatever it may be. And then there's also, if you could hear him and how he goes through and delivers this whole section, he's stuttering because there's like a viral video. I don't know how long ago, but she was doing a live performance somewhere, some concert or music festival, and she was stuttering. And people at the time were wondering if she was on that shit again.
That lady back on the stuff, she sound like she in love with him. Her kid can't
even
take their kids.
Enough of them. And that's it.
Can't be my eye.
That's it.
I got MAGA Republicans. Them shots came from the very top of the government. Good luck with them. I'm governed by God. You try to break the government. I prayed for 40 days. My neck get flooded again. Wrist get flooded again.
I reigned for 40 days. My neck get flooded again. My wrist get flooded again. Reign as in my reign over like the... Damn. Yeah, like my reign, like what I'm doing, legacy right now, or like this moment. And then rain as in actual rain, wrist, neck flooded, jewelry, whatever. And he's also saying like how easy it is just for him to, come back up. You know what I mean?
My net worth went up again.
Net worth went up again. That kind of goes back to the thing earlier. It's a B to say my name.
My next update, the jig is up. Nigga, I'm up 10. Wrong chart, champ. You gotta look up again. Niggas look up the hole. I never looked up to them.
So this is referencing the Drake diss on Janet Shut the Fuck Up from his Iceman album, where he said, "We already know how y'all moving, the jig is up," or something like that. It was a shot at Jay-Z. Because Drake has accused Jay-Z of a lot of the stuff that's gone on in his career these last couple years and whatnot. Jay-Z is cool with Pusha T. Drake had the shit with Pusha T. And then he's also has a hand on picking the Super Bowl halftime performer. Kendrick got the Super Bowl halftime performance, called Drake a pedophile on national TV in front of millions of people. And also Drake and Kendrick have had, not Drake and Kendrick, Drake and Jay-Z have had some type of, something there over the last couple of years, not last years, but for a while now. I mean, they've done some songs together here and there. There was a song that Jay-Z was on. No, Jay-Z did a feature to, or a freestyle to Drake's Nigga We Made It. I guess he dissed him on there one time. And the ironic thing is this, they have a song together called Light Up off Drake's first album, Thank Me Later. And Jay-Z verbatim in his verse told Drake how the industry or people are going to take you down. And we've seen it like right here in front of us. So that might give some credence to what Drake is feeling, towards Jay-Z, even though Jay-Z has denied that he has nothing to do with any of this shit. But so when he's saying the jig is up, recently after Drake dropped his last 3 albums too, what was it? He broke Jay-Z's record for the most #1 like hip hop albums or whatever, or something like that.
The Roots remember, let's get flooded again.
So he talks about that in here too. Networking.
My next update, the jig is up. I'm up 10, wrong chart, champ. You gotta look up again. Niggas.
I'm up 10, wrong chart, champ, which I think is it's kind of similar to the Nicki bar a little bit. He gave he gave him a little bit more ammo in this one, but he's saying, okay, yeah, like you beat me on that chart for the most #1 rap albums, whatever it may be. He said wrong chart, champ, which is like a backhand compliment. Because for Drake's looking at that like, oh yeah, I just beat you with most #1 albums. I'm better than you. Like I won. Like this little back and forth we have, I guess. Jay-Z's saying wrong chart champ because Jay-Z's more focused on where he's at on the Forbes list. You got to look up again. So he's pretty much saying like, yeah, you worked your whole career to get where I'm at. You finally think you got to the top of the mountain just to have to look up again because you're playing you're running the wrong race or playing the wrong game basically. And then the champ part after he just lost to Kendrick, even though his fans deny that he lost, saying he won, all this other stuff is just like wrong chart, champ. You got to look up again. That was a good flip.
Look up to Hov, I never looked up to them.
Niggas look up to Hov, I never look up to them.
The crackers got your publishing gangster, go talk tough to them. Don't talk success to me. Niggas is workers. In perpetuities, how your contract is worded.
So he was saying, like, go talk tough to them. Your contract is in perpetuities. Go look how it's worded. Drake was suing UMG and Lucien over his, his contracts, whatever. A lot of people say he was in the 360 deal, which is the perpetuity part. It's like a long-lasting, like, agreement, basically, is what he's saying is in his contract. So he's saying, go talk tough to them. Don't, come do that with me, basically. And Drake, he's taking shots at them and his music, a bunch of other people. Because Drake didn't like how he claims that, they helped Kendrick with Not Like Us and Botnet and all this other stuff. And, then there's the whole dilemma. Oh, is he suing? I'm suing UMG. I'm suing Lucien. I'm not suing, Kendrick Lamar over the rap beef or what he did, whatever. Like, all that other shit. Like, there's so many layers behind that. Don't Make Me Go Further is another callback to the Kendrick battle. on Euphoria, you take it there. I'm taking it further. That's something you don't want to do. So even he's saying right here, don't make me take it further. And he stops himself because from what it sounds like he has a lot more to get off his chest. So he just, did this and stopped it here basically. So, and Drake has sent shots at him multiple times before. So we'll see, how it plays out. I saw some people online saying they don't want Drake to respond, whatever. It sounds a little scary in my opinion, but what smoke has Drake never responded to though? That's for one. But two, I do think we have new Jay-Z music coming out soon. I think he's going to drop an album. So just doing it right now, one, after you just got into a battle with Kendrick and lost. You just dropped your 3 albums. They doing good. It's like, why would you even, I feel like he just, with Jay-Z, I don't feel like he's baiting him. This legit feels like a warning. Kendrick, he was baiting the shit out that nigga, for sure. And he fell for it.
The Roots remember, even when the trees pretend, not too much of my name.
The Roots remember, even when the trees pretend, is such a layered bar. Because like this goes back to what I was saying in the beginning of the video. People discredit Jay-Z. Jay-Z's not good. He's trash. He's this, he that. That's because so many young people are accustomed to knowing Jay-Z as the businessman and billionaire, not the rapper who was coming up like many older people do. The Roots remember. He's at the Roots picnic. They remember who he is. He said, don't forget who I am right when I paused it. The Roots remember who I am, for one, right? The Roots, they have a song called Remember as well. And then with roots grow from the ground and it blossoms to a tree. So when I think of tree in this metaphor he's using, I can use it in football terms. So if you're a sports fan, you know about the Sean McVay tree, the Bill Belichick tree. What they mean is if Sean McVay is a head coach, and let's say his offensive coordinator is Matt LaFleur, and Matt LaFleur goes to Green Bay, and then and then McVay gets another offensive coordinator, let's say Cliff Kingsbury, and he goes to Arizona. Teams are pulling from the McVay tree because they came from Sean McVay, if that makes sense. So when he says the Roots remember, even when the trees pretend. So like a lot of people he shot at in this are the trees. So the Roots remember, even when the trees pretend. Jaguar Wright could be a tree because she partnered with the Roots. That's how she got introduced to Jay-Z. And she can say all the stuff about him and deny a lot of stuff that he's done or whatever. But at the end of the day, like, they still remember. Even if you look at Drake, Drake's the tree, but his roots come from Drake and Nicki, actually. Nicki's roots is Lil Wayne. Drake's roots is Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne's roots is Birdman. So it's like Drake and Nicki, y'all can pretend. Lil Wayne is on record saying Jay-Z was very influential in his career and was one of his favorite rappers coming up. So the Roots remember. I look at Rockefeller too, Oshino, Dane. It's like they could say a lot of stuff about me now, but back in the day when we were coming up, they remember. So the Roots remember even when the trees pretend. And it also goes into the fact that without roots, there is no tree. There is no trees.
Don't forget who I am. Hattie loves her Shawnees. S-H-A-W-N. I find it a dog when she put the S at the end.
This part, I mean, he's talking about his grandma again, but he says Shawnees with the S, which is plural. I don't know. That one I literally could not figure out. That must be like a, I won't say inside joke, but that must be something between him and his grandmother.
You don't know, the show ain't even begin. I said, you don't know, the show ain't even begin.
That's fire. That transition is insane. That is fucking fire. Not too much on that because we got to get into the blue. That album we're getting into next, so I'm gonna leave it at that. But I just wanted to break down that freestyle, just so, like I said, there's a lot of dialogue behind it and a lot of people knocking it for whatever reason. They own agendas, stand wars, shit like that. But yeah, hopefully I get another video soon. But like, comment, let me know what you guys think about this one, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.